a couple of years of doing that, we realized that there were so many synergies and so many similar things that distributors wanted to accomplish with CRM that we took a step back and decided to take all the intellectual property that we've developed over those years and package it up and make it an offering. So today we offer an add-on solution for Dynamics CRM that turns it into a system that was developed specifically for wholesale distributors. So get all the standard functionality of Microsoft Dynamics CRM, but then you also get a whole bunch of functionality that we've developed specifically for distributors. Workflows, lots of reports and dashboards, and a number of different areas of functionality that we've developed specifically around the needs of distributors. So we're not going to be going into that too much today, but certainly had to get a shameless plug in there. And if you'd like to see a full demonstration of our solution, we're going to touch on it a little bit as we talk about marketing. But if you'd like to see something beyond that, by all means, reach out. We'd love to take you through a full solution demonstration of that. And part of our offering, by the way, is a cloud-based integration platform that we use to integrate Microsoft CRM with your ERP system. So there's a whole number of ERP systems that we've already integrated with out in the market. And then there's ERP systems that we haven't, and we have a data map that makes it pretty simple for us to go and integrate with a new ERP system, even if we haven't worked with it before. So nice thing about this model is that there's no software or hardware up front to buy or maintain. It is a cloud-based integration based on a subscription model. So you only pay for the amount of data that's transversing through the integration on a monthly basis. So the reason that this is important is as we talk about marketing, wholesale distributors really want to do a lot of marketing based on their transactional information that's kind of locked away in their ERP system. And, you know, there are a lot of statistics that back this up, but the number one way that you can get ignored or even, you know, get people to unsubscribe from your communications is to send them things that aren't relevant to them. An example of that is that prior to a solution like what we're going to show you today, if you wanted to do marketing around, let's say, customers that buy a certain item or maybe buy a certain product line or a certain vendor from you, that's probably, I'm guessing, a fairly difficult endeavor for you to take on until you have a solution like this. And that therein lies the targeting that you really want and need to do, right? So by integrating all of that data into Microsoft CRM for distribution and then also using a tool on top of that like Quick Dimensions, you're getting a best-of-breed solution all the way around to perform targeted marketing. So when we integrate with a distribution ERP system, there are a number of different data points that we're typically integrating with. One of them is around customer account information. So we're typically replicating the structure of your customers from your ERP system and pushing that into CRM. So typically that's by ship to. So when you look in CRM, you've got all of your ship tos as separate customer accounts. So you can analyze things at the individual ship to level. However, all of those roll up to a parent level record that gives you the capability of analyzing things throughout that whole customer relationship. So, you know, we bring over a lot of information about accounts down to the ship to level, pricing information and so forth. But where the real meat of it comes in terms of marketing, in my opinion, is around the order, invoice, and quotation data. So we're bringing all that transactional data over into CRM, and that's on a near real-time basis as well. So as orders are getting placed in the ERP system and invoices are taking place, that information is coming over into CRM almost real-time. So you're able to not only just look at your customers in CRM and see, you know, open orders that they have, item quantities, you're able to look at their sales history, look at where they're spending their money with you, all the way down to what items they're buying and how much they're paying for it. So that opens up a whole world of marketing abilities that you have with that data. So one of my examples is the exact scenario I gave you a minute ago, which is you want to do some marketing based on, let's say, an item that a customer has purchased in a certain period of time. Excuse me. So we'll actually step through that here in a couple moments. But these are kind of the best practice integration points that we've uncovered over the years that are most impactful to distributors to have integrated from your CRM platform and brought down from your ERP system. So a few compelling statistics, and we can get you a copy of this presentation if you'd like. In fact, we're recording today's session. We'll post this up on our YouTube channel if you think anybody else in your organization might benefit from it. But some really interesting marketing statistics that's been collected, and this was out of the Aberdeen report from 2013, is that so many people now, over half, are going out and looking at information about products and that before they ever even talk to somebody in a buying scenario. So so much of the time they're getting product information, and it's a real-time world, and there's so much information on the internet, probably from a lot of your vendors and manufacturers, that they're able to go out and just look up that information, and by the time they get to you, they've already been through kind of researching product information. Also, about 60% of marketers are reporting a positive ROI from email marketing. So it is definitely working. But what I'll tell you is that what I've experienced is for the people that it's not working for, it's really, really not working. Like, they are just getting dismal results in their email marketing. And a lot of times it's because they're using a shotgun approach. They're not targeting. They're not being thoughtful about what information they're pushing out to people. They're taking a shotgun approach, and they're pushing the same message out to a lot of different customers and prospects, let's say, that may not be relevant to a lot of those people. So it's just not working for them. Also, I think really interesting statistic is that 50% more sales-ready leads being generated by nurture marketing at a 33% lower cost. We just had this discussion in our business yesterday. We were looking over all of our marketing sources for the year 2014, and what we were seeing is a spike in the effectiveness of marketing campaigns that cost us the least amount of money. So things like blogging, things like email marketing, very targeted email marketing. A lot of you are joining us today because you've received some marketing from us because you're on some of our lists related to wholesale distribution. So you're a shining example of how email marketing works. And again, thank you for joining. So just some interesting statistics. I don't want to spend a lot of time here, but I think it kind of cues up our discussion as we go forward today. So I wanted to take you through a couple scenarios before I turn it over, and Jessie has some just amazing stuff that she's going to show you as well. But again, so much of marketing is targeting the right people, and sometimes that can be quite challenging, especially if you don't have a CRM solution to rely on to be able to do these types of things. But a lot of it is targeting the right people with the right messaging, and that will drive a lot of your return on investment in your marketing as a whole. So first way to do that in the Microsoft CRM product is via what's called marketing lists. And marketing lists are collections of either leads or contacts that you're building into a list to target with some special messaging. Okay? So you're just essentially taking customers and or prospects in the leads module, let's say, and grouping them together in some fashion. So it might be, again, maybe it's by industry, maybe it's by, you know, if you're looking at customers, maybe it's customers who haven't placed an order with you in 3 months. That would be another good kind of pivot point to look at. Maybe it's by product that they've purchased in the past and so forth. So in Microsoft CRM, there are two ways to maintain these marketing lists. One is manually, and that's a really simple process. You essentially just go into the CRM system and use a query tool called Advanced Find, and you're able to go out and query essentially on any information in the CRM system. And if you're running our system, CRM for distribution, and have that integration to your ERP, you've got a whole slew of data points that you can use to query and find people for targeting purposes. So you can just go out and build those queries and add those people to lists and then go ahead and market to them. Another really powerful way, though, is via dynamic marketing lists in Microsoft CRM, and those are lists that are being built automatically. And there's a lot of different ways to do that, but typically it's based on information in CRM. So that could be based on, let's say, information on a lead or a contact, right? So maybe you're identifying the industry or SIC code as you're profiling a new prospect. That could drive them to drop onto a certain marketing list. But again, if you have a solution like ours, you're able to then build those dynamic marketing lists based on transactional information like items being quoted ordered, or even purchased and ending up on invoices. So automatically, as that data is being pumped into CRM, that those customer accounts are being dropped onto marketing lists, again, based on things like items purchased, vendor lines purchased, and so forth. So really, really powerful. And the nice thing about that is that next time you go to use those lists, they're already built out and they're fresh. So it's happening automatically in the background. So every time you go to use them, they're completely up to date and have the right contacts in them because you're doing that automatically in the background. You can also do subscription management through that. We have a couple different newsletters that we push out on a regular basis. We have one specific to CRM. We have one specific to distributors, wholesale distributors, obviously. We do a lot of network services work. So we have a newsletter targeting some network services customers and prospects. And you can use this functionality to manage those subscriptions to those newsletters as well. So again, as you're entering or adding information to CRM, having those prospects and customers dropped onto certain newsletter subscriptions automatically. And again, once you go to, next time you go to use them, they're up to date and ready to go. So I wanted to show you what marketing lists look like in Microsoft CRM. Those of you that are using this, I apologize if this is a little familiar to you, but essentially they are just lists that contain groups of either customers or prospects that you're targeting for different types of marketing purposes. So you can see here that I've got some built out based on people that are buying 3M product from me, prospects that are in my system that have shown interest in abrasives products, customers without orders in a certain period of time. I've got some customers buying hand tools, industrial, janitorial, and so forth. And that's all done, again, either by querying those records or by using the dynamic feature to have those lists built automatically as data is being fed into CRM. So let's talk through a scenario here. Let's think about maybe a vendor announcing a price increase. So as of, let's say, December 1st, a certain vendor, a certain item or a certain group of items within a vendor product line, the price is going to go up. And what you'd like to do is you'd like to communicate to all the customers who have purchased that item, or maybe even people that you've quoted that item to, might even be a little bit more relevant, right, because they have the items out on quote, in the last so many days, weeks, or months. And you want to notify them and let them know that there's a price increase happening and urge them to buy before that price increase takes place. So I'll just jump over into live product here and show you what that looks like. So I'm going to go over into the customer account area of our CRM for distribution system here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the advanced find tool in Microsoft CRM to go out and query based on information in each customer's record based on items they've purchased or items they have quoted. So I'll just go into the query tool, and rather than build this real time, I have already built it and saved those queries out here. And you can see we've got a couple. We've got, based on items purchases, based on supplier purchases, and so forth. So I'll just pick the second one here. And you can see it's a very, very simple query, right? It's saying that show me every customer account that has an invoice where a product is on that invoice that contains that item code. Pretty simple. So when I hit results here, it's going to go out and it's going to query all of the records in my system that meet that criteria. So every one of these customers that's been returned, there are 201 of them, have an invoice, in this case, that has that item on an invoice. Now, we could tighten that up a bit, right? We could say that, an invoice in the last 3 months or last month. We could also add the quoting element to that. So, or has a quote with that same item on it in the last, let's say, month or 3 months, however far you want to go back, and we could tighten up that query a little bit more. But all these customers have an invoice with that item on it, so I could simply now take these customers and I could add them to a marketing list or even generate a quick campaign out of Microsoft CRM against these records, right? So we'd be targeting, very highly targeting, based on transactional information that was coming in from our ERP system. And it would be very relevant to these customers because they have purchased that item or they have had that item quoted to them in the period that we used in the query. So really, really super powerful, would allow us to go out and do a very effective targeted marketing campaign. One of the other things that I wanted to talk through is also around call campaigns. We're working with a lot of distributors now that are doing a lot more with telesales. We have an implementation that we're doing that they're doing telesales in a pretty big way. So all of this that I'm talking about here is also relevant to managing telesales campaigns as well. So if I took that same query and I brought back these same numbers of records, instead of sending them an email, maybe I wanted to call them. So I could go out here and I could issue a quick campaign against those records. And one of the options I have in the quick campaign in Microsoft CRM is that it can be a phone call that I'm queuing up, not just an email that I'm sending out. Can't talk and type here at the same time. So as I step through this campaign, you'll notice that one of the options I can create is a phone call. And I can even schedule these calls for the salesperson associated with each of those customer records. Or I could place all these calls into a queue. So maybe we want to queue these calls up for the inside sales team to start making these calls. So you can see that we have some queues built out here. You could have one for your inside team, maybe one for your outside team, maybe even have a special telesales team that you might queue those calls up for. But really, really simple, but yet very effective. So we're doing something pretty powerful here in just a short period of time and very few keystrokes. So I'd go ahead and queue these calls up, and I might even come into the call form here and put in a call script that I'd like them to follow as they're on the phone. So hi, Mr. Customer, notice you had an invoice with this item on it in the last 30 days. Wanted to let you know there's a price increase. Whatever you wanted to say there, you could do and just queue up right inside of the activity call records that are going to go out to the people that are going to be making calls. So not just electronic marketing here, but we're seeing a lot of distributors going back to telesales as well and having some success there. All right, so there's definitely a lot of uses of marketing lists in CRM and a lot of benefits, and this really segues nicely into what Jesse is going to show you with Quick Dimensions, as they're typically executing marketing campaigns against these marketing lists as well. So the better control that you get over your data and the better quality that you have in terms of your marketing list build-outs, it's going to allow you to do much more targeting and then to also see a higher rate of return on those campaigns. So a few benefits of using marketing lists: save time by automatically adding either prospects or customers to a marketing list based on information in CRM. That can include the information coming in from the ERP system, so those lists are being maintained automatically in the background. And really, it's assuring that you're targeting very specific contacts based on relevancy. So when you go to do your marketing, you're not taking a shotgun approach. You're taking a very thoughtful approach to what information you push out and to whom you're pushing it out to. Also, easy way to manage subscriptions if you've got newsletters that are happening, and if you don't, maybe that's something you want to start doing. And maybe that's by customer segment, people that buy safety supplies versus general industrial type supplies. Maybe you want 2 newsletters and a way of tracking who you should be sending each to. This is just a phenomenal way to do that. Great statistic here that highly targeted email campaigns achieve a 208% higher conversion rate over what I call the shotgun approach, which they're calling the batch and blast. So certainly statistics are backing up what we're saying here in terms of being very focused on targeting. So that brings me to the end of my content for today. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Jesse from Quick Dimensions. Jesse, it is all yours.
Thank you, Dave. Turn the presentation right so I can share my screen.
Yep, I will cue you up here in 1 second.
All right, so we're kind of switching presenters here. Just wanted to say thanks, everyone, and thanks, Dave, for the introduction. I'm excited to be here kind of sharing some different ideas and tools and techniques that are unique to your industry. Today what I'm going to be doing is touching on some really important topics for wholesale distributors today, more specifically how to perform closed-loop marketing tactics without leaving CRM. So Dave showed you the preview of CRM for distribution and talked about marketing lists, segmentation, queued up the marketing conversation really well. So what I'm going to do is go into CRM and give you more detail on just the marketing component, which is an application that sits inside of CRM called Click Dimensions. And Dave, can you see my screen? All good?
I can see your slide deck. Yep.
Fabulous. Okay. So first of all, we're going to talk Marketing 2.0. So we start with some facts about marketing and customer relationship management in general. And some of these are echoing Dave's content, but worth interpreting a little bit further from our perspective. The first one is always shocking at first when I see this, when we think that buyers are anywhere from 60 to 90% of the way through the buying process before they even reach out to you. But in today's world of instantaneous information and self-serving content, this makes perfect sense. This second point here says that 50% of qualified leads are not ready to purchase immediately. And that should really be interpreted as two things. It tells us, A, that marketing's definition of a qualified lead is slightly, if not majorly different than sales terminology, but it also tells us that there needs to be a better way of kicking those underqualified leads back over to marketing for additional nurturing and qualification. So, of course, that leads me to my third point here, that companies that excel at lead nurturing generate 50% more sales-ready leads at 33% lower costs. So these stats here are really proof that we're past the days of marketing based on, gut instincts and charismatic campaigns, and it tells us that marketing is really becoming a science today. And the biggest asset in a modern marketer's toolbox is the ability to use technologies like CRM and marketing automation together to really build refined processes and generating hard numbers and real sales results. So I always like to talk a bit about the modern marketer's persona, because without a doubt we're experiencing a new age of marketing led by a whole new breed of marketers using a new set of marketing tech tools. So today marketers are really tuned into what they want to use for marketing technology. They're so tuned into that they often have earmarks in the IT budget. Today's marketer is a power user of technology tools like CRM and BI and data systems, and they're tracking and maintaining record of every interaction to fully report on ROI. So in their world, it's really about generating and qualifying and nurturing prospects and closing opportunities, being able to provide analysis of metrics that actually matter in order to make dollars and cents out of the data. So the big question is, how can you do this? How can you become a new age marketer? And the answer to that is marketing automation technology. And that's what I'm going to spend my time talking about today. First, I'm going to give you a real brief introduction of Click Dimensions. We're going to talk about how to build targeted email campaigns that generate high-quality leads. I'm going to show you how to use our automated drip marketing builder so that you can do things like upsell and cross-sell into existing accounts, how to nurture those prospects until they're sales ready, and then we're going to talk a lot about web analytics and how you can convert anonymous web visitors into new leads. So this slide really shows the breadth of functionality that you have at your fingertips using Click Dimensions and CRM in combination. So you'll have the ability with Click Dimensions to do things like create email campaigns, trackable email campaigns. You can track all of your customers and prospects' interactions with those campaigns so that you can take action, track web visits, see what product lines, what product pages are most popular, build web content like forms, surveys with real-time feedback, even landing pages that you can use to promote different things like product promos and new catalogs, all while capturing leads and conversions right in CRM. Like I mentioned a bit earlier, you can do things like drip marketing campaigns. With this application, we have a lead scoring component, and all of these functions are working together to provide you a full marketing automation solution, really helping to bridge the gap between your marketing activities and your sales results. So this is always a scenario that we hear all the time from marketers. Almost everyone that we talk to has experienced this at some level. We know that marketers are using a number of systems that create major data silos. So they might have a CRM system to manage their customer accounts, their marketing lists, and their contact records, but using another system for email marketing. And if they're lucky, the two systems might integrate. They might be using a separate system for social, something different for surveys, for web analytics, and these systems don't talk to one another. So what we have to say to that is, let's pull that functionality and data into one central place. We really solve that problem because we bring that all into one place that lives inside of CRM, and CRM for distribution. So that way the data isn't inaccessible because it lives in another database. All of your marketing data lives within CRM with your sales data, so you can create the reports and queries and dashboards and workflow processes that you need to. In other words, get the data to do whatever you ask it to do. And in today's world of marketing, that's really important. So let's get into more detail. Dave, I actually see the question box. Do we have a question before we move on? We can wait till the end too.
I don't believe we have any questions logged.
Okay, I'm imagining that. Okay, so the first topic that I want to get into is subscription management, and we'll just get into more detail in general about creating effective email marketing campaigns. So email marketing is really the perfect way to showcase your products to your partners, your suppliers, your customers, and the first thing to consider is list management. So CRM provides you all the great data about your accounts, provides you the ability to create those lists based on whatever criteria you can think of for very targeted segmentation. But we'll talk about subscription management. Organizations that are really most successful with their email marketing are companies that send out regular communications to opt-in lists. So maybe a monthly newsletter, quarterly catalog, regular updates on events or trade shows, your sales flyers. Figure out early on what mailers you're going to send out and allow your recipients to opt into those mailers. So this is just actually a look at our Click Dimensions October newsletter. And as you scroll to the bottom, you'll notice our unsubscribe options. So what you have the ability to do as a recipient here is click here to globally unsubscribe from our communications. But as a best practice, what we do is we link all of our recipients to a subscription management page. This way, with Click Dimensions, you have the ability to create your regular subscriptions, give people the ability to opt into them, so your opt-in lists are growing. And you're always, on the back end, your marketing lists are being updated, so you're always having the most up-to-date and relevant subscribers. So subscription management is really big just in terms of kind of building an opt-in engine, following email marketing best practice guidance. So I'm going to jump into Dynamic CRM here and show you quickly. So this is the same environment Dave's demoing out of. This is a 2013 version. And along with everything that Dynamic CRM gives you natively, your sales, your marketing, your customer data, Click Dimensions marketing data will also live inside CRM. So we just add a Click Dimensions area here. And this is where you're going to have access to all of your email marketing functionality, your web analytics data, everything coming in from your website, your forms, your surveys, landing pages. That's all self-contained in this section here. So with Click Dimensions, then, you can send emails to any combination of your leads or contacts, your accounts, or your marketing lists, and you can send those emails in bulk, individually, or via CRM workflow. And there are 4 ways to create emails with Click Dimensions. We essentially have editors for all different levels of technical comfort. Some of the favorites, I'll give you a quick kind of snapshot of a few of the editors within Click Dimensions, but this is a favorite. It's our block editor. And the reason why this is so popular is because it's full HTML. You have the ability to quickly and easily spin up an email because it's just really following the wizards. It's kind of the foolproof environment that lets you just insert your blocks to the right, to the left, above, or below, adding your content, adding images, adding social sharing links, putting your logos in there. So it's just a really guided experience when creating your emails. Now, this is our drag and drop, another environment that you can use with Click Dimensions. It's another sort of easy complexity environment where you just choose your layouts, you grab your content blocks, you drag and drop them in. What's great about this drag and drop environment is that it is automatically triggering calls for responsive design. So you can kind of see how this looks in a mobile device. All the blocks within that template are going to stack, so it's just automatically responsive for you. We've got a lot of features. It's very rich in terms of its functionality for email. We've got things like inbox preview. This feature is great. It tests how this looks on different platforms and mobile devices, so you sort of don't have to guess and see, when you want to see what it looks like on an iPad versus an iPhone, all these different mobile email clients, web-based email clients. So I like to say test the heck out of it before you send it. We've also got a more medium complexity if you like to work in HTML. All of these designers, no matter what you choose, give you the ability to bring in attributes and personalization into these templates from your lead, your contact, or account record. So lots of ways you can create emails with click dimensions, including our Outlook cast feature, which I'm going to save for a little bit later. I do want to show, before I get into Nurture here, I want to just kind of show where some of the statistics live in CRM. So so far you've just seen what the designers look like and some of the different features within our email template designers. If you go into this email send record here, this is where you can actually see the reporting from your campaigns. So clicking into one of these, we'll just go to our November newsletter, for example. This is an important place because it's where you're setting up your email, where you're coming up, attaching the template, saying who it's going from, who it's coming to, where you're hitting send. But you can also come right back into the send record to see all the stats from your email campaign. So here's the template that you sent out. Your overall performance report. So we show how many messages were sent, the click rates, the open rates, all of those scores that you need to see after an email campaign. If you put social sharing into your emails, you get to see those stats as well. We've got heat maps and click reports, so tons of really cool reports that come just out of the box. This is probably the last report I'll show, but worth showing because it just gives you a nice consumable way of seeing the popularity of all the URLs in your email. So the way you'd read this is 4.89% of overall clicks were here on this link, and it scrolls throughout the template showing you the percentage of clicks on all the URLs. All right, so enough about that. Let's talk a little bit about Nurture. And I pre-pulled these up just to save time because we've got a lot to cover. I could really spend a day showing you guys all the robust email features and functionality, but what I want to do today is run through some relevant scenarios where a distributor would market to prospects and how you can accomplish this inside of CRM. So we're going to do that. This is our Nurture Builder. You can build a drip marketing campaign using this very designer. You've got all your tasks over here on the left, and this is your designer on the right. Maybe we'll use an example where we've got a marketing list of contacts who have spent X dollars on ABC vendor line, and since it's obvious that they you've seen how you can create the marketing list in CRM. You have the ability to create the templates with one of those 4 editors, so we can put the campaign together here. So in general, I guess just to kind of explain the general concept of Nurture, we like to say it's a lot of the times it's used for when you have a group of marketing lists of prospects that aren't quite sales ready, but you want to keep the message in front of them and let the appropriate person know when they begin to respond. We'll build this campaign out so that it's going to send email number 1 to this marketing list you've created. And maybe this is an email template highlighting some of the featured products from that vendor, each with direct links to that product on your website. And at this point you can stick a wait condition in there. And this is where you choose maybe after 5 days or 1 week or months, however you want to set this up, you can ask the question, how is this prospect interacting with email number 1? Have they clicked on the link we wanted them to? If yes, let's assign this to a salesperson. If no, maybe we want to send email number 2, try to catch their attention in a different way. Maybe email number 2 is sending them the virtual catalog for them to check out. And then you can, kind of start this again and say maybe put another wait condition, say have they even opened the email, If yes, let's add them to a marketing list or notify a whole team, however you want to set this up. If no, we're going to send email number 3, sending them a special promo code or offer, or some exclusive offer. So you're trying to kind of catch their attention in a different way again, and you get the concept. You can really build this nurture campaign to run as long as you feel appropriate. And once you assign this to a marketing list, these people get brought into the nurture from step 1, and they're essentially an autopilot. So the idea is really just set it and forget it. Salespeople are getting notified when their contacts are taking the bait, and it's all happening automatically. And remember, that's just one example. So you could create a nurture campaign for strategic accounts, the accounts that make up for most of your company's revenue for the purpose of cross-selling or upselling additional products. And one of Dave's slides, he showed a marketing list of customers who haven't purchased in 3 months. You could build an automated nurture campaign to show, or maybe to nurture kind of that low-hanging fruit until they're active in buying again. We have many customers now who are building nurtures for the sole purpose of establishing relationships with new accounts, reminding them who they are, kind of notifying them of resources, press releases, offering them their company subscription preferences, asking if they'd like samples, reminding them of who their account manager is. Nurture is a really powerful tool, and as you can see, it's just really easy to execute within CRM. So time check here. We'll move away from nurture, and I promised to show a little bit of Outlook Cast. This is another feature that's definitely worth spending time on. Outlook Cast. It's really a kind of a feature favorite among sales teams. I know Dave uses this a lot, and if you were reminded of this webinar today, I know Dave sent that reminder email through Outlook Cast. It's trackable. But basically, this feature allows you to create an email using Outlook and broadcast that email to a marketing list in Dynamic CRM. So maybe we'll, again, use one of Dave's examples where you're expecting a price increase. So your sales reps want to send out a quick and trackable email out to their marketing lists. And they can do that sort of thing very easily with Outlook Cast. So at first, the salesperson would need to go and get their marketing list ready, create the query for all the accounts who fit that criteria, or maybe they've already got a dynamic list which is automatically updating with the appropriate contacts. But after the lists are ready in CRM, you can use Outlook to create your email, so it's quick and it's easy, it's familiar, it looks personal, and the best part, it's trackable. You're basically creating your email with Outlook, going to your marketing list. We add this Outlook Cast button on the ribbon. That Outlook Cast button gives you an alias here that represents every contact in your marketing list. So once you put that alias back into the email and hit send, this actually goes through our service, not through your Exchange, not through Outlook. And you can actually, I guess if one of the accounts respond to that email, it goes directly to the rep who owns that contact in CRM. Of course, they can look back into CRM to find a running list of their contacts who have opened the email, clicked on the email, landed on your website from that email, and they're always going to know kind of who to go after for the sale. So that's Outlook Cast. Again, just a really kind of great feature favorite among sales. And as the next topic, I'm going to talk about web analytics. And this is one of my favorite features from a sales perspective. With our web tracking platform, you're going to have the ability to track everything happening on your website, right down to the lead and contact and CRM who visited, what pages they're looking at. And what this means for you is that because each page view, each visit, all of these web interactions are tied to your CRM contacts, from a sales perspective, you're going to have full visibility into this. So you can take action when the time is right. You know how to approach them because you already know where their interest is. So this is kind of how it works. I like to show this visual before I show where the data is coming back into CRM. But basically, we have a tracking script that's placed on your website, and that tracking script will initiate a cookie on the browser for all of the anonymous visitors coming in. And we can track geographically where they're coming in from, company name. We can see their whole visit right back down to, right down to the exact page view. We just don't know who this person is. They can tell us who they are by taking one of two actions. First way is filling out a form. The second way is clicking on a link in an email sent through ClickDimensions. So if this anonymous visitor takes one of these two actions, ClickDimensions will automatically convert them to an identified leader contact. We'll at that point deactivate the anonymous visitor record, and all that old browsing history gets pushed right into the new leader contact, so nothing is ever lost. And all that data flows back into CRM for you. I'm going to jump back in ClickDimensions, into the visits section. It comes in a few different places here. My favorite to show is this visits section because it's a little bit of everything. It's going to show every active visitor coming in to our website, and this is connected to clickdimensions.com. So you can see all the IP orgs coming in. You can see some people here are already identified as leads or contacts. There are a few unidentified visitors, and as soon as those anonymous visitors fill out a form or click on one of our emails, we'll start tracking them as an identified leader contact. You see the referring hosts, where they're coming in from, how long in seconds they were on for that visit, the lead score they accumulated on that visit, how many pages they looked at on each visit. And as you scroll over, you can even see that these are happening in real time. So, as a marketer, you probably want to see things like visits from social. You want to see, basically what social sites are giving you the most visits. You can use just native CRM charting tools to kind of see this in a more consumable way. This is just a kind of a query that's showing most of our visits from social are coming from Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. You can click into any of these to drill in a little bit more, kind of look at the quality of each lead there by lead score, however you want to analyze that. Another thing I always like to show is, because you can personalize your own views from a sales perspective, everyone in your organization, every salesperson in your organization might want to create a view just to see their contacts who are visiting the site in the last 30 days, in the last 2 months, in the last 7 days, however you want to set that view up. So this is that exact view for me. These are all my prospects, my partners, my customers who are visiting the site, everyone who's assigned to me in CRM. I always know exactly what they're looking at. I can kind of go into, actually let me just drill into one of these visits here, show you a little bit more detail. So if I click into one of these visits, I'm able to see a little bit more detail about that particular visit. So where they came in on, what page they left on. He had exited looking at our pricing page, looked at 4 pages on this visit for a total of 1,153 seconds. That's the lead score he accumulated while looking on this visit. And if I wanted to take a look at the related page views, I can certainly do that. I'm just going to click on that page view button, and it's going to show me what those 4 pages were, how long in seconds he was on each of those pages, and the lead score he accumulated. So very, very granular as far as the tracking goes. So before I leave the analytics, I had pulled Dave. I always like to pick on Dave when I'm on demos because he's got a pretty good social profile. We've got this feature within the product called Social Discovery, and what it does is it goes out and it finds someone in the social webosphere and pulls in as much information as we can find based on the email address we have on that contact in CRM. So Dave, for example, it pulled in a direct link to his LinkedIn page, found him on Twitter, even found him on Facebook. We've seen this pull in 10, even 15 different social networks depending on this person's web presence. But you can see here it pulled in some of his work experience. It gives his overall lead score. Dave's a great partner of ours, so he's poking around in our site a lot. He has a pretty high lead score, or a very high lead score, I should say. But he has 99 unique interactions with us from our website to the way he's interacting with our emails. And this tracking summary is just kind of a consolidated view of how he's interacted with us since his first visit ever. And you can go in and click into one of these visits and get down to the page view just like I showed you on the other record. And then over here, these are basically all the form fields that he's filled out on all of our ClickDimensions forms. So, and remember, just kind of going back to web analytics for 1 second, just remember that all the data from these analytics are reportable and actionable. So, if rather than a view in CRM for your sales force to be able to be monitoring constantly, you may consider having a workflow email notification sent out so that rep, when their contact has hit a certain page X number of times or whatever you feel important, you can set those things up too, because this data is reportable and it's actionable. It's just native CRM data. So I know we're running out of time here. I want to cover one more topic. Let's see, and that is web content. So you can create web content. I'll just talk particularly about landing pages and forms. All companies need forms on their websites. Contact us, catalog requests, request a sample form, you name it. In CRM, with Click Dimensions, you can create forms using a drag and drop environment and easily automate the post-action follow-up. So once the form's been submitted, you can really control what's happening, what notifications are being sent to who. And not only do you have that post-action firing off when a form is submitted, but you also have full visibility inside CRM for all those inquiries. So I'm going to show you a form within a landing page. And a huge part of marketing strategy in general, right, is to increase customers and generate more revenue. So why not create and publish landing pages for every possible occasion to capture new leads so you can nurture them until they buy. Landing pages are really designed to give your visitors more information on a very specific topic and inviting them to take a call to action, like downloading a white paper, perhaps a catalog, registering for an event, submitting a form, making a purchase. It could be a number of things. So with this application, instead of calling in a web developer to create a separate page on your website, right inside CRM using Click Dimensions, you can build a landing page with the same designers that we give you for email. So if you like the easy wizard-based designers or you like custom HTML, whatever your preference, you have those same tools to design these landing pages. And when you click embed on any of these landing pages, you're given the ability to either embed as a link or you can embed it on your website as an iframe. So with that link, of course, you can just share your landing page out with your social media networks, broaden its reach. But on this, let me X on this real quick. On this particular landing page, we have a lot of online content. Our marketing team does a really good job of constantly creating ebooks and infographics. And in this particular landing page, we're promoting an ebook that we wrote to generate leads. And as soon as someone fills this form out, the form post-action places them into a marketing list that's tied to a nurture campaign. And when this lead starts interacting with those emails, it's assigned to sales. So this could be a landing page built for your catalogs, or maybe you have multiple catalogs that you want to promote. You can build the call to action form right from CRM. You've seen how to build the nurture campaign. You know how to create a landing page, just like creating emails. And all these moving pieces are working together for your full marketing automation, and it's all happening from within the single platform, CRM. So I can't forget to mention that we track all these landing pages like any other page. So we're showing you how many people are visiting, where the visitors are coming from in the world geographically. We track all the inquiries, of course, right in CRM, so you can see who's taken your call to actions. And then, of course, all the reporting and actions that you need to ensure that these leads are being followed up on. You always have adequate kind of data to report on. So I know I talk fast. Maybe I left you guys with questions, but in closing, I think it's always important to mention that we had about 30 minutes to show this today, and it's really just scratching the surface with what you can do in terms of marketing with CRM and CRM for distribution. But we'll pass it back to Dave at this point, and maybe we'll open up for questions, and I'll let Dave close it out here.
And that is a really good point, and it does tie into one of the questions that we have. Click Dimensions is one of the key tools that we rely on at Behringer Associates to manage our marketing efforts, track web visitors to our page. Our landing forms are all integrated through Click Dimensions. Our email is all done through Click Dimensions. And you're getting so much functionality in that tool, all for a single price. And that was one of the questions that was posted is, what is the cost of Click Dimensions? And the answer to that is really largely based on the amount of email that you send and a few features that separate the different levels. Is that right?
Yep, absolutely. I'll just quickly show this. Most people will start at the standard level or above because everything I showed today, our full feature set starts at standard. This is an all-inclusive pricing, so unlimited users, everyone who accesses CRM will have access to Click Dimensions. So long as you give them the permissions to do so. We follow the same role-based security models that Dynamic CRM does. You have 180,000 emails a year at the standard level in the full feature set. As you move up in email volume, the price grows, but the features remain the same. So this is just clickdimensions.com/pricing if you want to take a deeper look into that. We do have some lower level, more starter packages where you can do email only or base, which is just basically email marketing and web analytics, but you don't have access to the premium features like nurture, landing pages, and all those features. So.
Yeah, and right now I believe you guys have a pretty impactful promo that's happening
Yes.
through the end of the year.
Thank you for reminding me. We're actually running our end-of-year promotion right now. So if you're considering making a move with a marketing automation platform, this is really good timing. Up until the end of the year, we have a 15% discount for the annual prepayment. So you just look at this price, 15% off. So great timing.
Great. Yeah, and as I said, there's so much features and functions being packed into one platform for a flat rate per month. That's not a per user. That is a flat rate based on the amount of emails that you're sending on an annual basis. So really great value overall in the ClickDimensions package. So one other question that was posted here is, does ClickDimensions marketing work with 2011? I guess that's CRM version 2011.
Absolutely. We have a solution back to 4.0, 2011. 2013, and we'll always have a solution for the latest and greatest because we only work with Microsoft Dynamics CRM. We don't support any other CRM vendors, so we're always sort of on time with the latest and greatest version.
Great. As we start to wrap up, if there are any other questions, please enter those in the GoToWebinar client. One other question that was posted was, do you store any data? And I suppose that question is related to email and contact data that's happening through the ClickDimensions servers. Do you guys retain any of that data?
We do not, and that's really what differentiates us from the other competitive solutions in the market. All the data that from your email campaigns all that data is pushed through a dedicated user and just lives in your Microsoft Dynamics CRM environment.
Great. Well, that was the end of the questions. If anybody thinks of any questions thereafter, feel free to reach out to me directly. Most of you have my contact info. I'm sure you've gotten some emails from me. If you'd like a one-off demonstration of ClickDimensions, by all means reach out. We're happy to take you through that and get into a little bit more detail than we were able to today. And want to thank you again for joining us. As I mentioned, we have a great webinar coming up on December 4th on competing with AmazonSupply.com. If you'd like a link to register for that, feel free to reach out to me as well. I'd love to have you sit on that, some great content that we're going to be covering. So Jesse, thank you so much for your time today and for the great content, and